Welcome to Rack's Pub and Grill. BFA Sports presents The Coaches Show with Tom Kelly. Welcome, everybody. This is The Coaches Show. Tom Kelly's joining us amongst other players, and we'll talk about last week's loss to Rancocas Valley, and we will also be previewing tomorrow night's home opener against Kingsway. But first, as mentioned, Coach Tom Kelly with us. Coach, good to see you as always.
You too, Chris. Thanks.
So let's talk about what we have to talk about first, which was last week, opening night, Rancocas Valley, new program, but new program on both sides, I would say. A lot of things to adjust with. 21-14. Observations, I saw you after the game. You weren't happy. How do you feel today?
Well, it's not so much the losing part of the game. It's how we lost. At times I thought we looked too sloppy. Whether it was the penalties or the mental breakdowns. We have shown signs that we can be an explosive team if everything's clicking on all cylinders. But last week was a prime example of, hey, this is what it feels like. This is what it looks like when you beat yourself, and that's what we did. And I know, our boys this week, starting on Monday, I saw it in their face, more focus. I thought we had a better week of practice, and I believe that we've learned from the mistakes that we've made on Friday. You're not going to win 8, 9 penalties, 135 yards. It's just not going to happen.
And our first conversation was about penalties and mistakes. Mm-hmm. They came at the most inopportune times last week, too.
Yeah, they sure did. Touchdown called back.
Fourth down conversion.
Yeah, the fourth down conversion. Now we're going from 14-14 to 21-7. It's a major swing. A couple other, penalties were on the fence. But, I still feel it shouldn't have came down to that call or this call. If we executed the game plan, that was a win we should have had.
And despite the fact with all of those mistakes, 5 minutes into the game, and you guys are right in it.
Yeah. No, we were. Listen, credit to Rancocas Valley and their coaching staff. I told Coach Lucas, he's doing a great job. That program's going to be on the rise. They did what they had to do. They kept the ball out of the hands of our offense. They were able to sustain drives, really small ball us, keep the clock running. But, again, it's a game, and I'm not afraid to say this, it's a game that we should have won.
No doubt. And what did you think of Malachi Castle?
Good ball player.
Yeah, you're going to have good ball players every week. You know that with the schedule that you have, too.
Yeah, I mean, the transfers that, who went to from Camden Catholic to RV, helped that team out tremendously. The quarterback, the running back, and I believe number 9 was a transfer from Delran, where the head coach is from.
Right.
You go back and watch the film, they did a very, very good job in that game, all 3 players.
So talk about the emergence of players. Number 1, without question, Coffey and I were extremely impressed from the booth with number 11. We're talking about quarterback Andrew Craig.
It's in his blood. It's in the DNA, right? It's in his blood.
He's only a sophomore. I'm telling you this, but I'm telling the crowd. He's only a sophomore, and he was, as the game progressed, Coffey and I felt that he just got more and more comfortable and more acclimated, which is a better word, to the offense that you put out.
Listen, he's got ice in his veins. During the off season, it was a grind for a lot of us, and I told him, Drew, I don't know how I'm going to feel 1st and 10 if we pass the ball. And watching him progress June, July, and, I told him at one point, I looked right at him, right in the weight room, and I said, I trust you. And I meant that. So if it's 1st and 10, I'm not nervous by any means. I know he's going to get the job done. He's got ice in his veins. He's a smart kid. He's a quarterback, and he's going to make the right decisions.
And outside of this little company here, giving the keys to the offense to a sophomore is kind of eye-opening across the league, too.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, it takes a special player to be able to do that, and Drew has it, clearly.
And we're going to see Drew later on in the show tonight. Another thing I thought was a bright spot was the balance of run and pass, and Harold Hill.
Man, Harold hit ball player.
Yep.
Ball player. Last year, right? Sophomore year, some growing pains. Okay, but again, just like Drew during this offseason, I saw a different Harold, a different look in his eye, and his preparation throughout the offseason is really starting to show. I mean, his assignments, both offensive and defensively, I'm always a big component of, I like our guys to run track. Okay, he runs track. He's got excellent speed, and speed, space, and Harold is good for us.
And on special teams, too. He's all on special teams.
Yeah.
Outstanding night for Harold.
Absolutely.
Anybody else come out to you?
Yeah, I mean, there were a couple of players who I thought, really have stepped up. Ashton Copa, when he was getting reps on defense, he was playing our, tackle this year, played guard for us last year. I think Ashton's coming along at the linebacker position. I really think Aubrey Green has done a good job so far. Same thing, preparation, off-season, more invested in that area. And you see it, with his routes. He's catching. He knows his assignments, causing a little trouble on defense for teams. And his blocking on the perimeter and in the interior has been outstanding.
And for those of you that watched the game or were there in attendance live, the cramping was rampant, mostly on the Williamstown side. But you're here to say that the conditioning is 100%.
Yeah, I would like to think so. I would obviously when
talking about pregame.
Yeah.
Kids were ready to go.
Yeah.
Hydrated and all that.
Yeah. I mean, we preach it all the time. Obviously when something like that happens, I immediately think, what could I have done differently? But I firmly believe the entire offseason we've incorporated conditioning. And a problem is we do have a lot of guys going both ways. We do have a lot of guys going both ways, and the humidity and, it just it was a tough way to kind of start the season.
We're going to come back and we're going to meet the coordinators next on the Coaches Show here live at Rack's Pub and Grill.
When it comes to taking care of your physical wellness, maintaining good health of your bones and muscles, you want a team of doctors you can trust and who hold themselves to the highest standards. At Premier Orthopaedic Associates, we believe that you should live life at your best. Our team of non-operative and operative orthopedic specialists strive for the highest standards, exceptional outcomes, and happiest patients. Come and experience the Premier difference.
Order your Pizza Hut faves like Original Pan, Original Stuffed Crust, and more at pizzahut.com.
We live in a community that cares. We make sure everyone eats, everyone plays, everyone stays warm, and everyone is protected. We support our youth in organizations that teach the value of community and self-worth. We make strides against breast cancer every day. Together, in this community, we make a difference. RK Chevrolet, RK Kia, and RK Subaru, proudly serving our community since 1982.
Pizza Hut wings are bigger and better than the other pizza guys' wings. No one outwings the Hut.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Coaches Show, live on BFA Sports at the Rack's Pub and Grill here in Williamstown. Coach Tom Kelly on the end, and we've got the coordinators joining us for this segment. To my left, Nick Seidenberg, who was the offensive coordinator, who comes from family of Seidenbergs and coordinators. You're on the offensive side, though.
Yep.
We've done this. Great job. Way to go. All right, and on the other side, now, seriously, game one, right, and I talked to Coach about it. You put a sophomore in charge of the offense. How did he look to you from your perspective?
Overall, I thought he was I mean, fantastic. He did everything that I asked of. Early on was a little rusty. I think that overall as a team we were just a little shaken up. The first play, I think I kind of started off bad. I thought it was a bad play call on my part.
What'd you call?
It was a toss pass. Try getting a little
To Zach, right?
toss pass to Zach. I wanted to get flow with the linebackers, pulling the guard and tackle, and the play kind of backfired. We started behind the chains, and from there, the momentum was lost. So I kind of take blame for that, the first drive. We kind of regrouped the second drive a little bit, but we just couldn't get any momentum. And I don't know if that was just, first game jitters, long bus ride, 90 degrees. I mean, there's a lot of factors that could have went into it.
It's tough to beat yourself up, though, over the first play of the game. I mean, on the positive side, not only Drew, and Harold had good ball as well. Coffee and I were very impressed with the way you were able to sustain drives when you were able to.
Yeah, Harold really stepped up. As you saw that we had a lot of players go down with cramping and dehydration. And this year we really emphasized getting the ones and twos. Really, I mean, there is no starter. I consider the number two the starter. So when Julian went down, Harold stepped in, and he was tired in the third or fourth quarter. I saw it, and I was really proud of him the way he kind of fought through it. Yeah, I was kind of afraid if he went down, we were kind of short, an F. So I was proud of him the way he stepped up.
Well, we're going to get to the game plan for Kingsway tomorrow night, but there's another side of the ball, and that's the defensive side, and we have another coordinator at that position too. And it's funny being a volunteer, and then you just go elevated right up to coordinator, Coach Ronnie Gordon. Tom, you had said earlier that you were very, very confident in how he is going to handle the defense. First game, and not like he's standing next to you or sitting next to you, but how did he look in the first game?
No, I was proud of Ronnie and the defensive staff. People don't realize, what it takes to be a coordinator and the time that you put in and the studying. And, you want to talk about rethinking scenarios and formations. It takes a long time. And I think for the first time ever calling a game, and I told him this, I thought he did a very, very good job, for sure.
So we agreed, actually, Coffee and I. I mean, I asked you earlier off camera if you watched the games afterwards, and we are as honest as we can be. And honestly, penalties were killers. What did you tell your squad this week in practice?
Basically, we talked about the penalties, the mistakes that we made, but at the end of the day, we can't blame the refs. At the end of the game, we still have to do what we have to do, and we definitely did correct the penalties, the mistakes that did happen. A few calls, of course, were so-so, but that's the name of the game. That's the part of the game. What are we going to do? At the end of the day, next play, and I always preach to the guys, it's short-term memory. After that play, move on, and we just got to play football.
I asked him, I ask you, what worked for you early?
Pretty much the guys were just, lining up right, doing what they had to do, doing their assignments. I feel like we got a little fatigued later on, and then, we started lining up wrong. But at the end of the day, like I said, that's going to be fixed this week, and we'll be ready tomorrow night.
You ready tomorrow night?
Yeah.
Okay. Back to you. And we're going to actually focus on Drew in the next segment. Sophomore quarterback, we were very, very impressed with him. We asked him at the end of after the game, the drive at the end was a fourth down pass to Sean. Whether he caught the ball or not, very debatable. So Coffee Jones said to me, and I quote, "We're going to go down there and talk to him, CL, and we're going to ask him a question, and if he says this, then he's my guy." So the question was, Drew, you remember this, right? That was a pass. It was tough. What do you think of that play? And he said, quote, "I got to make a better throw." And Coffee said almost verbatim, if he says, "I got to make a better throw," he's my guy. So right now, Drew's your Coffee's guy. So, but seriously, that is, yeah, absolutely. That is very, very impressive from a sophomore.
Yeah, that last call, I was hoping. I mean, he has plenty of options.
Was a catch, by the way, but
Yeah.
that's another story.
Yeah. He has plenty of options on that play. And what I liked most about that, with Drew, his decision-making and just going for the first down, because I thought we had the momentum. And we had some options where just, hey, let's just take a shot, see if we can just score right there. But no, he went to the check down. And, yeah, it was the best ball. I mean, he might have called it. I'm not sure. But Drew, he told me it should have been a better ball, you know. And, you know, we'll make those, we'll fix that up and have all the trust in a row with him. I mean, that third and fourth quarter, I mean, we had momentum. And a lot of that was because of him, completing balls, making the right decisions.
About the arm strength that he showed, too, and a couple of the deep balls that he threw.
Yeah.
Shocked us.
Well, it didn't really shock us. I mean, I knew what he had. And to one ball over the middle to Harold, I thought, I mean, the anticipation was just unbelievable from a sophomore. Harold, we called a kind of like a 4 vertical. Harold has to get across field to the opposite hash. And he wasn't all the way there. But if you look from the behind camera.
Is that near midfield, that catch?
Midfield,
that was great
yeah.
Throw, Drew.
Big conversion. He anticipated perfect. I mean, threw it right behind the backer. Harold came down and made a great catch.
So to you, sir, tackling last week. You are a D coordinator. We're going to have to ask you that, right? It wasn't as bad. When you got a chance to look at the video, which I'm sure you guys did, what did you take from that you can go back to your guys and say, we need to do this better, specifically?
I mean, really, we do tackling every day, or we try to emphasize that. More so just breaking down, and not over pursuing, pretty much. And I felt like we did a lot of that, over pursuing to the football. I'm a big believer, 11 hands to the football. I don't care where you are on the field. You can be on the opposite side. You never know what can happen. 11 hands to the football, that football could pop up and it could, land in somebody's arms. But at the end of the day, we just need to break down and use our form correctly, and we'll be fine. And,
It doesn't help, though, when you're on the field a long time as well, too.
I mean, you got to be prepared.
Fatigue.
Yeah, fatigue. I mean, at the end, we got to be prepared for that. You never know.
So looking ahead, I guess I'll start with the head guy. All right, you got Kingsway tomorrow night. You mentioned at this desk last week that Kingsway was the school that unfortunately dropped out of this conference, this division, right? You think they're going to have a chip on their shoulder tomorrow night?
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to forget last year's game with us.
Well, I was going to get to that, too.
If I'm Coach Hendricks from Kingsway, I'm posting that all over the bulletin board and reminding those guys, most of their players are coming back. I mean, a large amount of players are coming back. They're going to be ready to play. In my opinion, it's one of the best coaching staffs around. It's one of the best coaching staffs that we're going to go against. I have the utmost respect for those guys. They will be ready to play. They're not going to line up wrong. They're not going to miss tackles. They're not going to miss blocks. They're, very, very well coached.
But they're coming to the chop
But they're
house.
coming to Braves country, and that's a big X factor. It's not easy to win here.
No, it's not.
It's not easy to win here.
Coin toss, say you defer, you get the defense on the field first. What are you telling your guys? We're going to get the ball, and what are we going to do?
Execute our plays, score first. I think a lot of issues that we had, man, when we don't score first, when we're down, we're kind of chasing, and maybe we go away from our game plan. I think I want to score first. I want to get the ball in the end zone right away. Execute, be confident. I think high school football, a lot of it's just confidence with teams. What team's more confident? And that's usually the team that plays better. So,
how about you? Now, you're on defense first, and you're going to punch them in the mouth early and set the tone. That's the goal, right?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I'll tell Coach all day, put our guys out there first. We'll set the tone. So
So it's Kingsway, and it is tomorrow night. It's the home opener, and of course, it's all that added pressure because it's home, the Chop House. Everybody's going to be flying. How do you prevent these kids from being overhyped?
Well, I mean, you've been there for our pregame rituals, and we do a lot of things to stay active and keep the mind sharp, and focus on the game. The hype is the hype. I'd rather come out with the juice than no juice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm okay with the kids being hyped. It's just as long as they can remember their responsibilities and what they have to do. There's nothing. This is a game of emotion. You got to play with emotion.
Who is selecting the jerseys this year?
For the games?
Yeah.
Me.
Oh, you're going with the color scheme.
Yeah.
Any clue as to what we're going to wear tomorrow night?
Black on white.
Uh-oh. Blackout.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Black on white.
All right. Last point before we bring Drew out for the next segment. Will you be less conservative now that you've seen him in the first week?
I'm never conservative.
Yeah, that's something that we,
I mean, last year, our top guy obviously was Turner, so the ball went through him, and we were very young. But Drew's young now, sophomore, but everything's open, and I trust them all. I trust the guys. They worked really hard this offseason, and we're ready to go.
The good thing about our offense, to chime in, is we have the ability to run the ball. We have the ability to pass the ball. Our DNA on offense is not the same DNA as last year. So we believe that, whether you're running a certain defense or a certain offense, you've got to fit your personnel best. And, the direction that we're heading, we got a glimpse of it at RV, we have the ability to spread the ball around. We do have the ability to run the ball. So as long as we continue to keep that balance, if we go run heavier than pass, I'm okay with that. You know me, Chris.
Yeah.
I like to play it. I'm the more conservative one.
Defensive side, early on. You find yourself maybe with what you've got, now that you've got a full game under your belt, could we see more pressure? Could we see more action up from the secondary pressure, blitzes, things of that nature? Didn't see much of that last week.
We'll see tomorrow. Yeah, we'll
Way to
see.
bury the lead, Coach. Good job. All right. We're going to come back, and we're going to meet the players who played last week right here as the Coaches Show continues here at Rack's Pub and Grill on BFA.
When it comes to taking care of your physical wellness, maintaining good health of your bones and muscles, you want a team of doctors you can trust and who hold themselves to the highest standards. At Premier Orthopaedic Associates, we believe that you should live life at your best. Our team of non-operative and operative orthopedic specialists strive for the highest standards, exceptional outcomes, and happiest patients. Come and experience the Premier difference.
Order your Pizza Hut faves like Original Pan, Original Stuffed Crust, and more at pizzahut.com.
We live in a community that cares. We make sure everyone eats, everyone plays, everyone stays warm, and everyone is protected. We support our youth in organizations that teach the value of community and self-worth. We make strides against breast cancer every day. Together, in this community, we make a difference. RK Chevrolet, RK Kia, and RK Subaru, proudly serving our community since 1982.
Pizza Hut wings are bigger and better than the other pizza guys' wings. No one outwings the Hut.
Welcome back to the Coaches Show, everybody. We are live each and every Tuesday here at Rack's Pub and Grill, the newest sponsor of Williamstown football here on BFA. And the Coaches Show continues with the coach, Tom Kelly, in the corner. And we, as promised, bringing two of the players in from last week and probably left quite an impression on us in the booth. And I have coined a phrase that I'm going to go with, Double H. You like that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Harold Hill, number 7, ladies and gentlemen. On the map and in a big way early on. I know you're a team guy, and I know you look at the L to start the season, but you had quite a game, young man.
Appreciate that.
What did you find most rewarding in that first game? Was it offense, defense?
Me personally, my offensive performance, I felt like that was really good. I could have stepped it up on defense a lot more. Tackling, like you said before, was a big part of our defensive downfall for the loss. But definitely offense, I picked it up on offense a lot.
You know the people here really want to hear you, so keep that microphone. That's it. There we go. Rookie. Seriously, though, I mean, you were very impressive on both sides of the ball. Hands. What do you got to say to this young man right here next to you?
Drew, I trust him. Very glad he looked at me a lot last game. Hope we continue to keep that connection up for the season. Yep.
And we'll get back to you, but it was a good segue, too. Drew Craig, your starting quarterback. So we had a chance to talk before tonight, after the game as well. On paper, you're saying all the right things, all right? But all kidding aside, you got your first game under your belt. Let's start with what you think you did well.
You know, I really thought I read the defense very well, you know, seeing the coverages and, you know, how the linebackers and the DBs are going to drop, you know, what passes we have going for those coverages. You know, I thought I did very well with that in the second half. You know, I feel like I lacked a little bit in the first half. You know, I think that's just me absorbing everything, and, you know, I think I did very well in the second half.
How can you not be impressed with this young man? Really? Really? So when you broke the huddle, did you first say, where's number 9? Because he was a beast.
Oh, Aubrey, that's my guy, man. That's my tight end. You know, he's always, he's my guy. He's my first look. He's usually open a lot. Usually open. But you know, he was a beast. You know, he did everything right. You know, he made some very tough catches. You know, I threw to him a couple times, but he made the play, got separation. You know, I'm very proud of Aubrey.
And then there's the other side. What can you do better that we're going to see tomorrow night we didn't see last week?
Definitely timing, you know, getting the ball out on time. I feel like, you know, I was a little late sometimes, especially on the fourth down play at the end. You know, if I got my 3-step drop quicker and got the ball out on time, you know, maybe I would hit him right in his chest. But, you know, that's something that you can always work out on in practice, you know, get better at it. You know, I'm excited to try this Friday and see how I improved.
So you said the P word, Coach. Interesting week of practice. What message did you give, especially these two?
Just exactly what the message was last week. You know, I'm a firm believer. You play how you practiced. And if you look back last week, it was a little rough. Monday and Tuesday were a little rough practices. Wednesday was okay. Thursday putting it together a little more, but a little too sloppy last week.
So you knew then. You knew
Last
you were
week.
going to have something possibly coming your way that you didn't want to see on Friday.
Yeah,
I'm just share that.
I'm a firm believer of you get a look at practice, and these guys would agree that last week offense was here, defense was up, and vice versa on Tuesday. This week was consistent. It was steady. There was an extra sense of emphasis not to let the little things slide, the mental mistakes, you know, jumping off sides, drop passes. Everybody held each other accountable. They picked each other up. That's going to take us into tomorrow night, and I feel much more confident that those penalties that you saw last week are not going to happen tomorrow night.
That's good to know. So, if you can, a little bit about these two youngsters up here. Start with Double H. I'm like, this is definitely going to catch on. You know, we could have T-shirts printed. Double H is here. You know. So, Harold, very impressive, mostly on the offensive side, we thought. You agree?
Oh, I mean, listen, when the game is on the line, at the end of the day, these guys, they play the game, right? I mean, we try to put the players in the best position possible, but at the end of the day, they play the game. So, it's gotten to a point where, guess what? If Harold's open, we got to give him the ball because he's going to make something happen. I know, like I said earlier in the segment, that, last year was some growing pains there with him, sophomore, younger. I mean, now, it's like, he's a gamer, So it's always great to see these guys, how they evolve as players.
Can you pick out one play that really stood out that he did Friday?
Anytime he touched the ball.
I got one.
Anytime he touched the ball, even special teams. He was able to flip field for us that one time and get us good field position too. So, it's not just the offensive side of the ball. We put him in on defense. We're not scared. It's not like, that's not the case. Same thing with special teams. So if you can have a player that can make an impact at that level on all three phases, you really got something good there.
Pass over the middle, one of the best catches I've seen.
Appreciate that.
Okay. So, all right, to the quarterback. First of all, you're wearing number 11, which is a great number. So my father's here, and that's the number he wore. So, hi, Dad. 11's the number. And we had a lot of conversation already about that. So, practice. You already have a game in. Did practice feel a little bit more comfortable that you have a mission now instead of a mystery where you didn't know what to expect after game one?
Yes, definitely.
Tell me how.
With seeing defenses in practice, our defense gives me good look, and when our scout defense for Kingsway, me seeing them and they all help me, and I feel like I will be prepared for tomorrow.
You agree with Coach that you had a much better practice this week?
Yes. Well, I think I practiced better this week than last week.
You personally?
I believe so, yes, sir.
Okay. And how about the team?
I believe the team got better, Maybe Monday was a little shaky or Tuesday was a little shaky, but, that's just pains with putting in new plays and putting in new things. But I believe that we are prepared for tomorrow and gonna see us play tomorrow.
At the Chop House.
Yes, sir.
Some breaking news here. Got to put new wrinkles in there. You care to divulge any of those wrinkles you put in?
Yeah, we're running wing tee tomorrow night. Going under center. Yeah, running 52 defense.
Delaware wing tee.
Yeah.
It's opening night. A lot of people think the week 0 is the game that you can flush, right? Do you agree with that, first of all?
Flush.
Get rid of it.
No, you can't. No, you can't flush it. No, absolutely not. I mean, that's a game on record. 0-1. That's not how we want to start. We can't hang our heads on last week. It's done. So now my thing, what I want to see is how does this team respond tomorrow night? That's what I'll care about. If it's the same nonsense over and over again, which I don't think it's going to be on the field, right? And they turn it around and we can be the dangerous Braves team that I know we can be, then that's what matters to me, the response after last week.
Look out, Kingsway. There's nothing like it, guys. I mean, the Chop House and the atmosphere, and it's opening night, and you're going black on white, so I try to be intimidating, right? So, 7 o'clock, kickoff. Tomorrow night right here on BFA. Kingsway comes to town, and they take on the Braves live. What do you think of television high school? You like that?
Yeah, of course, definitely.
Yeah? You watch the games?
Of course.
You critique yourself?
Yes, always. Trying to get better.
Yeah? You critique us?
Nah, you guys are good.
That's the right answer. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the Coaches Show right here live from Rack's Pub and Grill here on BFA.
When it comes to taking care of your physical wellness, maintaining good health of your bones and muscles, you want a team of doctors you can trust and who hold themselves to the highest standards. At Premier Orthopaedic Associates, we believe that you should live life at your best. Our team of non-operative and operative orthopedic specialists strive for the highest standards, exceptional outcomes, and happiest patients. Come and experience the Premier difference.
Order your Pizza Hut faves like Original Pan, Original Stuffed Crust, and more at pizzahut.com.
We live in a community that cares. We make sure everyone eats, everyone plays, everyone stays warm, and everyone is protected. We support our youth in organizations that teach the value of community and self-worth. We make strides against breast cancer every day. Together, in this community, we make a difference. RK Chevrolet, RK Kia, and RK Subaru, proudly serving our community since 1982.
Pizza Hut wings are bigger and better than the other pizza guys' wings. No one outwings the Hut.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Coaches Show here live at Rex Pub and Grill in Williamstown. Come check us out every Tuesday night. We have the Coaches Show, even though it's Thursday, but that was a good call, I thought, by moving it from Tuesday to tonight because of the heat. Is the heat giving the kids any problem thus far?
I mean, I feel like it's been extraordinarily hot this summer. We've been able to make the best of it. You know, it's tough practice during the summer, and you have your week 0 game, and you only have 10 days to really practice and get ready, 14 days or whatever it was, and the heat, and so from the card that we've been dealt with the heat, we've done okay. We've done okay.
We talked about it last week. If it was going to be a loss, how quick we can bounce back. What can you do to do that? We got a sense in the show tonight. A great week of practice usually results in a great performance on the field. How do you make that happen?
The kids played a game. The kids played a game. We as coaches, we do everything in our power to get them ready, to put them in the right position. They played a game. And I know if we're not thinking and we're just playing and we're fast and we're explosive and we're aggressive, not too many teams can stand with us.
Is there any disadvantage at all to a young team to play in front of such an intimidating crowd like the Chop House?
No, because we had that last year. So a lot of these guys have now, I would say, yes, last year. We're still young, but last year was, these guys had no varsity experience. Now they got a year under their belt. Now they know what it's like. So I believe that's going to help out tremendously. You're still going to get that juice flowing. You're going to get that blood in your veins. That's never going to change, but you know what to expect when kickoff happens.
What do you think of us doing a live show with you so you can't goof up?
It's been tricky. It's been tricky.
Glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah.
I mean, every Tuesday it's Rex, it's Pub and Grill, it's come in, get some dinner, get some drinks.
Yeah. Great turnout tonight. Great turnout.
Oh, yeah,
tonight.
great turnout. If you can, Charles, let everybody see you at home.
Yeah,
and
great turnout.
We want to thank so many people that have made this happen. This is our first live show. We did the taping last week. I guess that was our rehearsal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But a ton of people to thank. Of course, here at Rack's Pub and Grill, the great people here. Ed Herron at Pizza Hut.
All of our sponsors.
Yeah, Premier, all those people. But you got homework from Brian Cope, too.
I did, yeah, my PR. There he is over there. Of course, obviously, this is, and I tell everybody, other people, head coaches or buddies of mine who coach, and I cannot emphasize enough that this is the greatest football community that I have ever seen. And there is nothing like, for me, being the head coach of such a
story,
a community enriched. It really is one family. There's nothing like it. So
can I get an amen on that?
The best. the best. You know, our administration, our athletic director, Dean Insana, speedy recovery, had hip surgery. Mr. DeStefano's doing a great job. I know he has his hands full at the high school. Dr. Fickey, of course, and all the administrators. Our huddle club, led by Mr. Tony Lantino,
Shout out.
president.
Tony, you're off the hook tonight, Tony.
Lori Noel, vice president, can't be here tonight. Mindy Baker, our treasurer. Kim Copa, secretary. Mr. and Mrs. Malinsky, thank you. And, of course, you got the OGs, right? You got Brian Cope, Darren Page, Dr. Ray. Without them.
It's a good offensive line.
With that, yeah, you're not kidding. Yeah. I mean, man, oh, man, what the Huddle Club does behind the scenes, people, you don't know until you know you're involved. So thank you to them. And, of course, last but not least, she's here, my wife.
It's an understatement to say that he outkicked his coverage.
I remind her all the time. She doesn't know how
You
good
have a
she has
shirt
it.
that says that.
Yeah. Gentlemen, that's the real head coach. All right, and you'll learn one day. That's the real head coach over there. But obviously, all the time I'm away from home, and, she's really raising the two kids a lot of the times because, football is football. Takes what it takes.
You got anything else on that piece of paper?
I think I'm good. That's everybody. That's everybody.
All right, so final thoughts. It's the home opener. Give me a scenario like, Chris, if we do this, we'll be fine.
Listen, if we execute and we
Oh,
don't.
that's the standard stuff. Execute, I get that.
That's it.
but-
If we don't beat ourselves,
right.
we win the game. I mean, I know I sound redundant,
Yeah.
but I mean, these guys will tell you. In the off season, I said we have the players to get it done. That's not my concern. It is the mental part of the game. That's it. If we are locked in, we are good to go against anybody on our schedule. And it's got to be that way against Kingsway because it is an outstanding program with a tremendous staff, and those kids will be disciplined and ready to play.
Again, last week we talked about it, how Williamstown was approached to drop in the division. You appealed and you won, so this is probably the best division/conference in South Jersey.
Like I said, last year our kids were young. We took our lumps last year. After 10 years of dominance, our program, and our kids deserve the right to play those same teams this year around. They were not taking us out of the top division.
And the point I wanted to make is there are no off weeks with that schedule.
No. You tell me which one because I haven't seen one.
No, I agree. I agree. So, final thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're just talking to the coaching staff. I mean, we can't wait till tomorrow night.
Yeah.
I know the kids can't wait. I told them, stay off your damn phones. Don't stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning. Study your plays. Get a good night's rest. Eat and drink. Make sure you hydrate. Be ready for tomorrow night. And I can't wait to walk out with that band and looking to the left. And you got the Chop House. And you got, hopefully the parents in the parking lot having fun. And we're ready to go. Kickoff is tomorrow night. It's the home opener here on BFA as Kingsway comes to town to take on the Braves. For all the good people here at Rack's Pub and Grill and for all of the Williamstown faithful, including the fantastic Huddle Club, our crew at BFA Sports, Charles Hope, Ryan Schumacher, I'm Chris Lozzi. Thank you for joining us tonight. Tomorrow night, kickoff. Coffee and I will be on the air 7 o'clock right here on BFA. Good night, everybody. All right.